When we first started talking, he actually didn't tell me his real name. Yeah. He told me his name was Derek. No Chinese parent saw this pop out and was like, oh yeah, Derek Lee. A lot of Chinese people introduce themselves to me with an English name, and I find it so weird.
大家好, my name is Alina.
Like, that's not who you are. Like, imagine if I was like, 你好,我是楚. A lot of Chinese people have an English name, especially women, I find. I know some people are forced to adopt one from working in a company like you were.
Yeah.
I gotta say, it comes across really weird when people want to have one. And I know you told me that in English classes, your teacher will give you an English name or you're asked to come up with one. And for me, that's so weird. Because in Denmark, 我是丹麦人, and obviously, like, my language also has its own unique names that don't exist in the English naming system. Like, my name does. But you're never asked to change it because that's who you are. I think it's quite disrespectful for a teacher to be like, oh yeah, change your name.
It's quite, like, entitled.
Yeah, and I don't find that other places really do this. I know China does. I know a lot of Koreans also have one. But for a lot of people, that's like a religious thing. It just comes across really odd to me. So in Danish, my name is pronounced very differently. Like, Julie is not the name my parents will call me. They'll call me Julie. But it's the exact same name. It's just different culture. I would feel very uncomfortable if someone legitimately changed my name. Like, in Mandarin, my name is Li. O is for my last name because translating my whole last name will be a challenge for you guys to pronounce. Like, I gave myself a Chinese name so it would be easier to sign off on stuff or like introduce myself. If I translate my whole last name, it would have produced the same problem.
A lot of time you can't type your whole name into some systems.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like in Japan, I was called Julie, but it's the same name because Julie as a name also exists quite literally everywhere.
Yeah.
But of course people can pronounce it differently, but they should still put in the effort to know my name. You get what I mean? Like, my parents, I think now they pronounce your name correctly, but in the beginning they had a hard time with it.
Yeah.
And I think that's okay, but I think you should expect foreigners to actually put in an effort to know your real name instead of you making it easier for them by giving them a fake name.
So right now, I've noticed that only China, South Korea, Japan, Southeast Asia in general, like this region, East Asia and Southeast Asia, do this.
To be honest, I've actually never met a Japanese person that introduced themselves to me with a not Japanese name when I lived there. So I don't think they do it. In English class, they were just their name.
Okay, so they don't do it.
No, because that's their name.
Then I've noticed a pattern. It makes me more confused. Most of the areas that do this are formal colonies.
Yeah.
In China, it's not. So I don't understand why we also do this.
No. I think it's fine to change your name if you don't like your name. That's your right, you know? But it's quite awkward because, like, let's say we meet with friends, like your friends, and everyone is introducing themselves to each other because it's like a new group of people. But then I'm the only foreigner already in the room, but I'm also the only one being given not real names.
Yeah.
So when they're talking to each other, I don't know who they're talking about because I'm like, that's not a name I recognize because you did not tell me your real name. And it feels quite bad, to be honest, because it feels like you don't want me to know you. I can learn your name, you know? Like, I'm not an idiot. I can pronounce Chinese names just fine.
And, like, workplace also causes an issue. For example, in some companies, they want you to use your English name, right?
Yeah.
But in some other companies, for example, when you meet up with your clients, you shouldn't. And sometimes people still use their English name. It's very awkward, actually, when you deal with, like, government.
做了一些脚本的 demo， 脚本的样本。
Another thing is when you quit your job and join another company, that company culture could be very different. Then you have to use your Chinese name again. Your former colleagues only know you by your English name.
Yeah.
And that caused a very big problem. But they don't know your Chinese name. You know, when they see that name, they don't know that's you.
Like, for me, like, my identity is tied to me being Julie. You know, like that's who I am through and through. I was raised as this person. It feels like you're deleting a part of a person when you're deleting their name. Like you're ordering them to use a name that they weren't raised using.
Yeah.
And I think it's interesting because I see Chinese people being quite like not liking that we Westerners tend to change our last name when we're married. Isn't this even worse because that's the name you were given by your parent? They spent time and effort giving you a name, and that's the name people that care about you know. But now a person is saying like, oh no, you can't use that because that's not good enough. Like it's not fancy enough. I really wish people would stop using foreign names, and I wish companies would start having like a decent human policy of like, you can learn to pronounce this name. Like for goodness sake, like if I can learn to pronounce Juan, I can pronounce Jiayi. Like it's literally easy. So
almost only this area do this.
Yeah.
You know, people in the West or English-speaking countries like America, Britain, they also have a hard time to pronounce Indian name.
Rajesh, Stuart.
Hi, Richie.
South America, Hispanic name.
French names.
How many people can pronounce
My parents.
Polish name?
Sorry, Joanna. I know how to pronounce Joanna Yajici.
Or like my parents' names, no one pronounces them correctly, you know, but people try.
So do they have a new name? No. You make people lazy to learn your culture, and also you basically try to adapt yourself to others.
And I hear some people argue for it, being like, oh, we're an international society. Then be international. International is accepting that we come from different backgrounds.
Yeah.
So let's celebrate that we have these cool names. And to be honest, the funny thing is, I think you'll actually experience a lot of Westerners that aren't racist will actually think your Chinese name is way cooler because they'll be like, oh wow, it has a meaning. Like your family thought about a meaning.
My name is joy and happiness in Chinese.
In Chinese, it means to continue the cultural legacy of my family.
To cultivate knowledge.
To turn into a better person.
It means heroine, and my parents took it from the story of Mulan.
Because most of ours didn't. It was like, okay, I want my daughter's name to be this. I look it up afterwards to make sure it doesn't have like a horrible background.
Yeah.
But after that, you're like, oh, that's who she is. But please stop using English names when you introduce yourself to me. Please, I'm begging you. I live here. So what do you guys think? Do you think it's ridiculous that this whole English naming system exists? Or do you think it's great that you get to have a new name? See you guys next time. Bye. And guys, even though he introduced himself as a completely different name than what his real name is, because he thought I couldn't pronounce his name, it's actually him that couldn't pronounce mine. It took him 2 years of knowing me before he pronounced my last name even remotely close to what it's supposed to be.